on the channel, our goal is to decode complex financial research so you can see how the global economy actually operates. When we picture a corporate cyber attack, the image is usually one of a digital battlefield. Teams of security experts frantically typing, deploying firewalls, and fighting off intruders in real time. But the data tells a different story. Megacorporations are largely declining to fight back. Instead, they have integrated surrender into their business models. These companies have built a highly efficient financial system designed specifically to pay off hackers. For a Fortune 500 company, extortion payments are now handled as routine, deductible operational expenses. By treating ransomware as a simple business transaction, the corporate world has provided the seed capital for a multi-billion-dollar global criminal industry. Writing a check makes the immediate problem disappear, effectively bankrolling the next generation of attacks. To understand why this happens, we have to look at the attackers. The era of the lone hacker in a dark basement is over. Today, cybercrime operates on a model known as Ransomware as a Service, or RAS. These syndicates are highly structured corporations. A master developer writes the core malicious code and leases it out to a network of independent affiliates. They operate with shift-based call centers to negotiate payouts. They offer 24/7 technical support to their victims, and some even maintain internal HR departments to handle performance reviews for their hackers. Because the RAS model handles all the complex software engineering at the top, anyone can rent the malware and launch an attack. This bar chart visualizes the frequency of publicly reported ransomware incidents impacting businesses. That lowered barrier to entry caused a sharp rise in volume. Incidents involved in roughly 1% of reported cases in 2016 climbed to 40% by 2024. This professionalization transformed ransomware from a localized nuisance into a highly capitalized global extortion market. To maintain their massive payrolls, server infrastructure, and affiliate payouts, these criminal syndicates require continuous multi-million-dollar cash injections. The hackers know exactly where that cash lives. Once an affiliate breaches a corporate network, their first priority is hunting for cyber liability insurance policies. This tactic is standardized. When the internal training manual for the Conti ransomware syndicate leaked, researchers found explicit instructions directing affiliates to search victim networks for insurance-related keywords before deploying their encryption keys. Armed with stolen policy documents, groups like Lockbit tailor ransom demands to match a company's maximum coverage limit. They explicitly warn victims not to listen to the insurer's lowball counteroffers and threaten to hit the network again if insurance blocks the transaction. The mere presence of a cyber insurance policy acts as a pricing signal. It strips the corporation of negotiating leverage because the hacker holding the network hostage is already reading the documents defining the company's ability to pay. Behind closed doors, corporations lean on a specialized ecosystem to handle the fallout, breach coaches, and expert negotiators. These specialists streamline the transaction. They vet the criminals, coordinate the Bitcoin conversion, and haggle the final price. This hyper-efficient payout system creates a severe economic problem known as the ransom externality. This cyclical flowchart maps out the externality. For an individual company, paying the fee is almost always cheaper than rebuilding a network from scratch. But when they wire that capital into a central RAS hub, the syndicate reinvests those funds to upgrade their malware, which then multiplies outward into new attacks against other organizations. For a single CEO, wiring the money is a perfectly rational microeconomic decision to save their entire business. In the aggregate, however, these individual payouts generate a macroeconomic market failure, directly funding the weapons that will be used against future victims. This private pipeline of cash eventually drew the scrutiny of the U.S. Treasury. By allowing corporations to quietly fund criminal syndicates, the insurance market was inadvertently financing organizations that the government considers threats to national security. The U.S. Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, or OFAC, enforces economic sanctions. They operate under a legal mechanism known as strict liability. In this context, strict liability means that if a corporation or its insurer wires a ransom payment to a sanctioned entity, they face massive federal fines. The law makes no exceptions. They are held liable even if they had no knowledge that the hackers on the other end of the transaction were on a sanctions list. This is a significant legal minefield because many of the world's most active ransomware groups are on that list. Take the Lazarus Group, a cyber warfare unit directly sponsored by the North Korean state, or Evil Corp, a Russian transnational criminal syndicate specifically designated by the US government for distributing highly destructive malware. If your company gets locked down by one of their affiliates, paying them is a federal violation. Corporations are now trapped in a catch-22. If they refuse to pay the ransom, they face catastrophic operational downtime. If they wire the money to save the firm, they risk federal sanctions and massive penalties. It leaves us with an uncomfortable question. Is the cyber insurance industry the ultimate safety net preventing total economic collapse? Or is it the primary engine ensuring the ransomware economy lives forever?